Hello, welcome to your math class for Monday, May 16th, 2022. I have something for you. Dr. Seuss once said, "Why fit in when you were made to stand out? Why try to be like everybody else when you were made to be yourself?" Think about that. Today's target. Today I'm learning to add and subtract fractions so that I can solve problems that add and subtract fractions. I'll know I've got it if I can solve problems by adding or subtracting fractions. There is a video that you were supposed to listen to before you started this recorded lesson. If you didn't listen to the video, pause the recording right now and go watch the video about numerators and denominators. Come right back. So we need to remember when we're talking about fractions that the top number of a fraction is the numerator. Numerator starts with NU for never under. The top number is the numerator. It is never under. The bottom number of a fraction is the denominator. It is down, down, down. The bottom number is the denominator. It is down, down, down. So right now we're going to talk about adding like fractions. The reason we call them like fractions is because the denominators are alike. If you have two fractions where the denominators are the same, and this one is an 8 and an 8. If you have two fractions where the denominators are the same, you're always just going to keep that same denominator. So the first thing you can do when you're adding subtractions where the denominators are the same is write the denominator in your answer because it's going to be the same. And then you just add the numerators. 3 plus 2 is 5. So 3/8 plus 2/8 is 5/8. If the denominators are alike, they're called like fractions. You keep that same denominator and just add up the numerators. Let's look at some more examples. Here are two like fractions, a 6 and a 6. So I already know that the denominator is going to be 6. And then I'm just going to add 1 plus 4 is 5. You just add the numerator straight across, and there's your answer. The same here. What's our denominator going to be here? If you said 10, you're absolutely correct because these are like denominators. And then we're going to add the two numerators. What is the numerator going to be in our answer? Correct. 3 plus 4 is 7. Whoa, that's a big old 7. So the numerator is going to be 7. Let's look at some more. Here's a 12 and here's a 12. So what's our denominator going to be? That's right, it's going to be 12. And then we're just going to add the two numerators. What's our numerator going to be? 7 plus 2 is 9. So our numerator is going to be 9. 7/12 plus 2/12 is 9/12. Okay, one more. We have a 5 for this denominator and a 5 for that denominator. Are they alike? They are like fractions, so we know the denominator in our answer is going to be a 5. Now all we have to do is add the numerators. 2 plus 1. What's our new numerator going to be? Correct. 2 plus 1 is 3. So our answer, 2/5 plus 1/5 is 3/5. Done and done. Fractions are sort of easy. Let's look at another one. Oh, we have some more like denominators. I'm going to wait and see if you can find the answer before I write it down. I'm going to give you a few seconds. What's the denominator going to be? That's right, 12. Oh, aha, Mrs. Lansford. I almost tricked you. This isn't addition, this is subtraction, but guess what? It's the same process, except now you're just going to subtract the numerators. 5 minus 4 is 1. 5/12 minus 4/12 is 1/12. These are all subtraction. And so you're going to do the same thing with all of them. Keep the same numerator. If the numerators are both alike, keep the same numerator and subtract the denominators. 5 take away 3 is, that's right, 2. Okay, now let's see if you can do this one before I do it. I have some like denominators, so what's going to be my denominator? And this is subtraction, so I'm going to subtract the numerators. What is going to be the numerator? Exactly. 4/6 minus 1/6 is 3/6. Okay, let's try this one. What's going to be our numerator? Our denominator. What's our denominator going to be? That's right. Since they're like fractions, you keep the denominator. And now we're going to subtract. 4 minus 3 is, that's right. Fractions actually aren't bad. They're sort of easy. Let's try some more. Oh my. So far, all we've had are fractions that are like fractions. The numerators were the same. But look at this. Are these numerators the same? They are not. So what are we going to do? I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to multiply the denominators. 5 times 3 is 15. Now, watch this. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. We multiply this denominator by this denominator, so we did 5 times 3, and we took the 3 and we multiplied it by 5. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So we have to multiply 3 times 3 is 9. Whoa! 9. And 2 times 5 is 10. So I'm going to cross these out because whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Now we're going to add the 9 and the 10. 9 plus 10 is 19. There's our answer. Let's look at what we did again. There is a harder way to do this, but I don't like hard. I'm going to show you the easy, this is called the easy common denominator. You have to make the denominators alike. The ones we've looked at so far, the denominators were already alike. The denominators have to be alike. So the easiest way to do that is to just multiply them. 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15, but whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. And then whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top before you can add them. Okay, let's look at some more. Oh, here we go again. We have a 5 and a 3. These are unlike fractions because the denominators are not the same. Watch what I'm going to do. I have to have a denominator that's the same, that goes with both of them. So I am just going to multiply them. 5 times 3 is 15. So on the bottom, I multiplied 5 times 3. So what am I going to have to do on the top of this fraction? Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So I have to go 2 times 3. This one, I multiplied 3 times 5. So whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So I have to multiply 1 times 5. Okay, 2 times 5, 2 times 3 is 6. Cross that out and put the 6 plus 1 times 5 is 5. 5. Now, what is 6 plus 5? That's right. It's 11. 11/15. So, here's what you're going to do. You're going to multiply. 2 times 6 is 18. Number 1, step 1, multiply the numerators. Multiply the denominators. Whoa, I'm going to put a D. Multiply the denominators. Step 2, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So when I multiply 2 times 6, I multiply 2 times 6. And I multiply this 6 times the 2. Okay, whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So I have to multiply the 1 times 6 and the 2 times 2. Now, I have 1 times 6 is 6, plus 2 times 2 is 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. The answer is 10/18. Oh, I didn't tell you step 3. Step 3, you multiply the denominators. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So you multiply the numerators, and then you add the numerators. add the numerators. Some kids get mixed up and they think they have to multiply the numerators. Nope. They think they have to, like, 1 times 2. Nope. Multiply the denominators to come up with your new denominator. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. And then multiply the numerators and then add the numerators. Let's try this one. Let's see if you guys can help me figure this one out. Uh-oh. I have fractions where the denominators are not alike. They are unlike fractions. Step 1, multiply the denominators. What's our new numerator going to be? 5 times 4 is 20. Now, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So I took this 5 and I multiplied it times 4. So I have to take this 1 and multiply it times 4. I took this 4 and multiplied it times 5. Right there. So I'm going to take this 2 and multiply it times 5. Now we're going to multiply the numerators. 1 times 4. I'm going to cross that out because now it's 4. Plus, what's 2 times 5? That's right, it's 10. Now we add the products. 4 plus 10 is 14. Good job. Boom. Uh-oh. Some more unlike fractions. We have a 7 for a denominator and a 2. What's the first thing we do? Correct. We're going to multiply the denominators. 7 times 2 is 14. Whatever we do to the bottom, you finish it. That's right. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So 7, I did 7 times 2 to the bottom here. And I did 2 times 7 to the bottom in this fraction, to the denominator. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So I need 2 times 2. And 1 times 7. What is 2 times 2? Cross it out because we're making a new number. That's right. 4 plus, what is 1 times 7? Yes, 7. Okay, now we're going to add the new numerators. What's 4 plus 7? 11. Boom. Just have to remember, multiply the denominators. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Multiply the numerators and add the new numerators. So, oh ho ho ho, I tried to trick you. You guys have the system figured out, but now I'm going to subtract. But guess what? It's okay. Because it goes the same as subtraction, except you're going to subtract the new numerators. So let's write down our steps. 1, multiply the denominators. 2, whatever you do to the bottom, what? You have to do to the top, correct. 3, let me fix that arrow I made there. That's pretty bad. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Then 3, multiply the numerators so that you can, whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. And then 4, add the new numerators. Okay, let's practice it. Well, so we're going to do 5 times 2. So we'll have 1 common denominator. 5 times 2 is 10. Check. We multiplied the denominators. Now, we multiplied this 5 times the 2. So 5 times 2. And we multiplied the 2 times the 5. 2 times 5. Now, whatever you do to the bottom, that's right, you have to do to the top. So we multiplied this times 2, so we're going to multiply this times 2. And we multiplied this times 5, so we're going to multiply this numerator times 5. Okay, 5 times 2, what's our new numerator here? 8 minus 1 times 5. What's our new numerator here? 5. 8 minus 5 is, you're correct, it's 3. Here's our answer. Now we have a new numerator and a new denominator. Okay, let's look at this one. By the way, I think I already told you this. There is a harder way to do this, called finding the least common denominator. Right now, what we're doing is we're finding the easiest common denominator. The easiest way to get a common denominator is to multiply the 2 existing denominators, just like this. So, multiply the denominators. 7 times 3 is 21. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So the 7, we multiplied it times 3. And the 3, we multiplied it times 7. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. 5 times this 3. And 7 times this 2. What is 5 times 3? What's going to be our new numerator over here? That's right, 15. What is 2 times 7? What's going to be our new denominator over here? 14. 15 minus 14 is 1. There is our answer. First, step 1, multiply the denominators. Step 2, Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Step 3, multiply those numerators by whatever you multiplied in the denominator. Oh, I put add the numerators. We're subtracting, aren't we? And step 4, subtract the new numerators. Okay, let's see if you guys can do this one. I have a 4 and a 5. What do I do first? Correct. I'm going to multiply the denominators. 4 times 5 is 20. How did I get that 20? I multiplied the 4 times the 5. And when I do that, it's the same thing as multiplying the 5 times the 4. Now, step 2, whatever I do to the bottom, that's right, I have to do to the top. So I multiply times 5 here. So I'm going to multiply this 2 times 5. And I multiply times 4 here. So I'm going to multiply this 4 times 5. I mean this 1 times 4. Ugh. What's our new numerator on this side? 2 times 5 is 10. And what's our new numerator over here? 1 times 4 is 4. And now we're going to subtract 10 minus 4 is, yes, 10 minus 4 is 6. It's not that hard. Okay, one more. I have a 7 and I have a 2. What do I have to do first? Correct. Multiply the denominators. 7 times 2 is 14. Step 2, whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. What did I do to this 7? I multiplied it times 2. What did I do to this 2? I multiplied it times 7. Okay, whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. I multiplied this 7 times 2, so now I have to multiply this 6 times 2. What is 6 times 2? 12. Okay, over here, whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. I multiplied this 2 times 7, so I have to multiply this 1 times 7. What is 1 times 7? 7. Now, we're going to subtract our new numerators. 12 minus 7 is 5. And there's our answer. That's how easy it is to add fractions. Mrs. Lansford will be gone to STAAR testing until May the 20th, but that's just Monday, a week from today. She misses being with her champions. Oh my goodness, I miss it. But I'll see you next Monday. The last day of school is May the 25th. Whoop, I crossed it out. I did not mean to do that. Is May the 25th. Now, there is school. You do have to come to school next week on May the 23rd and 24th and 25th. But In class, we're going to be playing games to review what we've learned this year, and we're going to be having fun ways to say our goodbyes. So you still have to come to school on Monday, Tuesday, and, excuse me, Wednesday next week. This is the last week that Mrs. Lansford will be out for testing. Do you know how much Mrs. Lansford hates testing? Because I miss you guys. But on next Monday, a week from today, I'll be back. I will see you guys in a lesson later. Bye.